Alright. Let's see what we get. Sealed's usually bomby. I think that people tend to think that more often than it's true. Some sealed formats are inevitably bomby, and those tend to be the sealed formats that are not interesting sealed formats. But there are a lot of sealed formats that are much more capable of building aggressive decks with reach than the average player gives them credit for. But we have not succeeded with that thus far. So we have Monk of the Open Hand, which I don't think is likely to be able to be built into a meaningful deck and limited very often, although Soldiers of the Watch might be something that enables that more often. Patriarch's Humiliation's a good card. Steadfast Unicorn's okay. Archivist of Ogma is 2-mana 2/2 flash, mostly. Mace of Disruption isn't very good. Soldiers of the Watch is fine. You Hear Something on the Watch is fine. Priest of Ancient Lore is solid. Icewind Stalwart is not great, I don't think. 3 and a white for a 3/3 creature, Tiefling Warrior. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to one target non-warrior creature you control, then return it to the battlefield and under its owner's control. It's fine-ish. Lae'zel Blessed Warrior. 3 and a white for a 2/4 legendary creature, Gith Warrior, with double strike. When you cast this spell, it gains when this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability no opponent controls, you may exile this creature, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control. What? Why that wording? It doesn't go away at the end of turn. Why does it not perpetually gain that? It's worded that way to only do it once. Right. Oh, okay, I see. It's so that once it blinks itself once, it has lost that ability. So it gains that ability forever, but it doesn't gain it perpetually because it loses it after it gets blinked. Okay, that's super weird, but sure. I guess I see why. Huh. Okay, but so we got a 2/4 double striker. You can pay 1 mana and specialize into a 3/6 double striker. That's a lot of stats. When it enters the battlefield or specializes, seek a non-land permanent card with mana value 3 or less. Oh, and then if they target it and blink it after that point, it still has that ability because specialize didn't remove the flicker ability. So you could potentially get 2 seeks off of it. Whoa, all right. Alternate art. That's actually kind of cool compared to all the other ones that are just color shifted. So we get a 3/6 double strike with when this creature enters the battlefield or specializes, conjure a duplicate of a random creature card from an opponent's library into your hand. Okay. Return up to 2 target creature cards with total mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Create 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. Other creatures you control and creature cards in your hand perpetually get +1/+1. Ooh, +1/+1 seems pretty impactful. It's relevant to BG3? Different creature type added too? Oh yeah? Horror. Huh. That's so weird that it's only one of the 5. Baldur's Gate 3, she's a main character. Baldur's Gate 3. Oh, is that one that's in early access? Yes, it is. Okay, look at that cross-promotion there. And look at this, they successfully made me ask what it is. And then discover that the cross-promotion product exists and is a thing. Congratulations, Wizards, you've succeeded. So we have solid cards in white, and most of our rares in white, but like no depth to it at all. That's disappointing. Hypnotic Patterns, fine. Ray of Frost is fine. Shocking Grasp. Target creature gets -2/-0 until end of turn. Draw a card. It's fine. Tomorrow's Evoker. 2 mana 1/3. Pay 8 mana to draw 2 cards. Okay. Does it feel like weird from a flavor standpoint to like be casting 8 mana worth of sleight of hand to draw 2 cards? Like, this is the most powerful orc rogue on the planet, and they're picking pockets with it? Wizen Githzerai, Come to the River, Blur, Charm Sleep, Dream Facture, seems meh. Pseudo Dragon Familiar, seems meh. Vol's fine. Contact Other Plane is probably fine. Duplication's meh. Ithalid Harvester, 4 and a blue for a 4/4 creature horror. When it enters the battlefield, turn any number of target tapped non-token creatures face down their 2/2 horrors. Oh, okay. So all of your opponent's tapped creatures get way weaker. That's not bad. Plant Tadpoles, blue X, sorcery adventure. Tap X target creatures, they don't untap during your controller's next. Oh. Alright, well, that's actually just pretty solid, then. Plant Tadpoles is not a terrible spell on its own, and then Ithalid Harvester is just a pretty objectively good card, too. And Draconic Lore is reasonable. Okay. Armor of Shadows is fine. Ghost Lanterns, meh. Sepulchre Ghoul. No, Sepulchre. Sepulchre Ghoul is fine. Deadly Dispute's fine. Grave Choice is meh. Gray Slod. 2 and a black for a 4/1. As long as there are 4 more creature cards in your graveyard, it has Menace and Death Touch. Entropic Decay, mill 4 cards. Alright, that's interesting. 4/1 for 3 that has Menace and Death Touch is actually appealing, and I guess Entropic Decay does fuel some synergies. Vampire Spawn, 3 mana 2/3 that Siege Rhinos. Wand of Orcus, 2 and a black, legendary equipment. Whenever equipped creature attacks or blocks, it and zombies you control gain Death Touch until end of turn. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. That's so hyper expensive, but it does seem kind of, I guess, fine. Kind of synergizes pretty well with the gray slods. Slads? Slad? Grim Bounty is a decent removal spell. Grim Hireling, 3 and a black for a 3/2 creature tiefling rogue. Whenever one or more creatures you can control deal combat damage to a player, create 2 treasure tokens. Sacrifice X treasure tokens. Target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn. Okay. And Manticore kind of sucks. Black Dragon's kind of fine. Alright. I'm sort of interested in this idea of, like, playing this black pool. Red has Battlecry Goblin, Dragon's Fire, Improvised Weaponry, 2 Unexpected Windfall, Young Red Dragon, Faraday's Fireball, Warriors of Tiamat. Warriors of Tiamat actually seems like a pretty decent double team card. 5 mana 4/2, put another 5 mana 4/2 with haste in hand. Okay. Grim Hireling does seem like the kind of card that works with Facebreaker, but also, like, 4 mana is a lot. But yeah, they do seem like they would have a lot of fun together, don't they? In green, we have 2 Null Hunters, a Line Up the Shot, the Circle of Land Druids that I'm not really convinced to actually synergize with anything. Underdark Basilisk seems good. Band Together is fine. Owlbear is good. Scanos is pretty good. Alright. And then some multicolored uncommons. 2 Pilgrim's Eyes to fix our colors, so we could definitely try to go 3 colors if we felt the need to. We also have Prophetic Prism. What do you do? What do you do? Menace and +X/+X? Right. Okay. We do have 2 Mintharas. That could potentially make for a really interesting black-white shell. It feels weird that we're playing a bunch of 2 mana 2/2 flash rares. We definitely would play Hear Something on Watch. And we'd probably play Steadfast Unicorn. I guess we should probably play Icewind Stalwart if we're at the point where we're playing 2 Mintharas. Do we really want to play Deadly Dispute in this list? How many treasures could we ever make? Grim Hireling, Grim Bounty. I guess it's a combat trick that sort of functions with Minthara, and it kind of synergizes with Pilgrim's Eye too. Yeah, maybe we could make this work. I don't know that I'm that interested in the armor, though. I can't tell if, like, vampire spawn is something that I would actually want in this list or not. Kind of bummed there aren't more ways for us to make, like, multiple tokens other than the Soldiers of the Watch. Spawn's pretty good if we blink it. Yeah, I guess we have the Stalwart that could blink it once. Maybe that's reasonable. Do we have anything worth attempting to splash? I guess there's the Ithilid Harvester, potentially. Although the part where it requires double blue to be a good splash is a little unappealing. And once again, no gates. Have I liked the set so far? We've had a little bit of a tough time of it so far. I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but the small sample size that I've had thus far seems like it has been not really based on synergies or combat tricks, and like most of the games have been decided by bombs, which tends to be the bias in play early on as players make more mistakes and build decks less correctly, whereas bombs are like the most self-evident way to build decks around. But also, like, it's not fun to have sealed just decided by who has bombs. How are you for specialized cards? More specialized cards make splashing more justifiable because you can still utilize the dead cards. I don't know that I would say that that is like a very strong effect. Yes, specialized does sort of give you a discard outlet for splashes, but like the cost of splashing is not really... Only half the cost of splashing is that you don't draw your land to cast the splash card. The other half of the cost of splashing is that you draw the splash lands instead of your regular lands and can't play half your deck. And, like, I guess you can also discard the lands, but if you're playing the lands as part of your 17, then you kind of need to play them. And you can't discard off-color land. Yeah, you can't discard off-color lands. So, yeah, I don't know that I would say that it makes me that much more interested to splash, because I'm viewing most of the cost of splashing as being the cost of playing fewer on-color sources and missing my colors of mana more often. Can we run 16 lands with 2 Pilgrim's Eyes? Maybe. I don't really want to, but that might be correct. You can discard off-color lands to specialize, yes, but that means that then when you draw the thing you splashed for, you don't have that land. Like, you're kind of obligated to play those off-color lands. You really don't want to discard them. Is Grave Choice, like, decent, or am I just correct in thinking that it's objectively not very good and that I shouldn't be playing it? I legitimately don't know the answer to that. I kind of feel like this is what we should be rolling with, and I should just be playing 8 and 8 on lands. There's no way I can afford to not play Armor of Shadows if I'm playing 3 gray slots. I don't think that that could possibly be correct. Yeah, part of me wants to run the Grave Choice just to try to get more experience with it. Use this through. I'm already at a point where I like have no clue what I'm supposed to be cutting here, though. It's just the Black Dragon. If I'm playing a 16-land deck, do I really want to play a 7-drop? I mean, I'm not really playing a 16-land deck because I got Pilgrim's Eye and Deadly Dispute and Grim Bounty, but I'm kind of playing a 16-land deck. I'm just going to pretend I am playing a 16-land deck and call that, like, the solution. Alright, let's give it a go. Alright, we've got our 4-mana 4/4, so that's gotta be a victory, right? I really, really, really hope my opponent is playing turn 3 copter thingy. I have 2 copies of my own deck and I can't remember the name, but the thing that searches for lands. No, that doesn't search for lands. I really get the feeling like I'm not going to get very much out of these archivists, if I'm being entirely honest. Okay. If my opponent wants to trade a Myconid for an archivist, like, that's a huge... not really in my favor exchange, but it does stop them from having a mana dork, which would be cool. I wonder, do I want to play Lae'zel before Minthara or the other way around? Yes! Yes, we done it! Value! Absolutely delightful. Alright, alright. Which card are we playing here? Which one? I can play Minthara and then swing with the entire squad pretty easily. But now that I've drawn a land, I can also specialize next turn. I'd have to specialize into the black one, but we don't actually have cards in our graveyard, which isn't very good. So actually I probably can't specialize next turn unless we draw a land. Then I could specialize into the white version. If I don't play Minthara, then... can I attack at all? Yeah, I can still attack with everything except the unicorn. Okay. I could specialize on the turn that we play Lae'zel, but, like, then I'm not attacking that turn. Ooh. Okay. No, my creature gets tinier. But on the other hand, at least now we have something we can reanimate if we decide to specialize into the black version. For whatever reason. That's a very big creature. I suppose the good news is that it doesn't have trample. I could Grim Bounty it, and then discard You Hear Something on the Watch to go Seeking. That involves not playing Minthara, which is a bit of a bummer. But also involves doing a lot of damage to my opponent, which is probably a good thing. I'm gonna go with doing a lot of damage to my opponent's probably a good thing. Is Specialized instant speed? I don't think so. I don't know. Sorcery only? Okay, that sounds correct. Oy. Opponent has a lot of cards. Moderately concerning. How was the set review? We successfully completed uncommons and it only took like 6 hours. What format are we playing? This is sealed. Displacer Kitten. Okay, I don't believe that is likely to be terrifyingly scary. Well, alright. Moderately scary. Myconid is a good card to blink. That's a lot of slods. Am I willing to sack a unicorn just to give everybody else bonus stats? Probably not. Maybe? I have one creature in the graveyard for all these slots. Probably not. Maybe? Probably not. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if we're going to do much in the way of milling ourselves with these things, to be entirely honest. Because if I had to do that, then I would be not casting them. Oh, Treasure's Trigger Minthara? Seriously? Oh, it's permanence. Oh, wow, yeah, I should have done that. Good catch. Wow. I thought that was only creatures. I still can, but then I'm not going to be able to adventure the slot, which is a little disappointing. But, oh well, whatever. Right, because it's sorcery only? Yeah. For some reason, we can't mill ourselves at instant speed. But it might still be worth it. Ugh, more Hill Gorgers. It's not exciting. It jiggles. That's adorable. Okay. Do I want to trade Lae'zel with the Hill Giant? I don't really. I kind of think I just want to jam these two. You want to block him, opponent? You want to make my Minthara bigger? It is an option. Alright, we definitely got to get rid of the Displacer Kitten, right? I mean, I don't like them having mana fixing, but I'm more scared of them being able to blink Hill Giant. Boop. Boop. Alright, our Slad is an absolute lad. You may search your library for a dragon card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. Wow, on a 4/3? That's extremely good. Goodness gracious. Alright, well... How about I mill 4 cards and mill a creature? Success. Alright. In that case, the Slad gets in on account of now having Menace. Now, what do you do? Can't be blocked. Exile an instant or sorcery. When you do, tap target creature and put in controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Can't be blocked. Combat damage you may. If you do, put +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. What? Okay, well, they're not in white, so that's nice. They're not in black either. If you do, deals 2 damage to each opponent. Okay. If you do, draw a card and you may play an additional land this turn. Sure. Yeah, I am willing to give you the Draconic Muralists trigger, I think. It scares me, but here we are. Oh. Now they can bounce my Minthara. It's deeply disappointing. That makes this blocking trickier. How many instants of sorceries I got in the yard? 1. Okay. So we can sort of live with that for the time being. How much do you cost to specialize? 5. This ability costs 3 less to activate if there are 2 or more instants and or sorceries in your graveyard. Oh, that's cute. So if you have 2 instants and sorceries in your graveyard already, it costs 2. But if you only have 1 instant or sorcery and are attempting to discard the other instant or sorcery, then it costs more. Yeah, that's cute. That's cute. So they're able to bounce Minthara here, which is concerning. I could attack with Lae'zel and trade with the Hill Giant, but then I actually have to like deal with the 6/6/2, so that trade doesn't seem wicked appealing. I think I'm mostly just attacking with my Slad. They bounce the Minthara, then they do have to trade with it. Presumably they block Hill Giant, Myconid. I kill the Myconid. Specializing a creature I do not believe removes any perpetual effects. No. Oh, alright. So we just double block and let the Minthara trigger? Our Lae'zel has not flickered yet. No. Which does mean that it's doing a good job of holding down the ground. Alright, we're going to play another Giant Menace Death Toucher. It super matters that this creature with 8 power has Death Touch. Actually, it does, because I forgot that that would kill the Horde Gorger. That makes their blocks make a lot more sense, instead of just bouncing the Minthara. We bounced the Slad! Oh my! We're truly that afraid of the Slad, huh? Dear me. Dear me, dear my. Yeah, this is absolutely just a truly bizarre board to try to evaluate what's doing so well. But somehow my opponent has a 7/6 and is representing another 6/6, and like, my 2-drops are kind of chill with that. I would pronounce it like Slod. I'm honestly having a lot of fun pronouncing it different every single time. But I suspect I'm going to default to the pronunciation that sounds like lad. Because the idea of these frog horrors just being a couple of lads, that makes me happy. I got to admit. Yeah. Alright. Now we have a dragon. And more dragons. Okay. We go to our turn. Do we swing with everybody here? I think maybe we swing with everybody here. Am I in that much danger of dying on the backswing? It can't be that much, can it? I mean, I probably don't swing with the Minthara. That would probably be a bad idea. But, you know, I'm feeling everybody else. Is sorcery only? Nah. Cool. So, like, depending on how they block, I could try to do a gotcha moment by sacking our Slad to the Sepulchre Ghoul. Boop. Boop. And a jump. Okay. Yeah, I mean, these blocks seem reasonable. Soldiers of the Watch is looking really, really, really good with Minthara. I really love that jiggle effect. I've never seen that in this game before, but it's just so satisfying to watch it just go... I can't explain why that just makes me feel happy, but it does. Could have sacked the soldier to save the ghoul. I could have, but then we wouldn't have killed what the ghoul was killing, or what the soldier was killing, right? I feel like at this point denying my opponent chump blocks is a pretty big deal. Needed mana too? Nah, I don't think it costs any mana. Yeah, it doesn't. That might have been worth it. I don't know. Me having a X2, but them having a 1-1. I feel like them not having a 1-1's a pretty big deal, though, when I'm sitting here with, like, multiple lethal threats in play. And there's our Specialize into blue, and now we have, I think, just the one. Do you flicker? Ooh, opponent, that was unfortunately a mistake, because that doesn't apparently affect on abilities too. Neat! Oh, we were gonna get to play a Pilgrim's Eye that was gonna have like 10 power. Oh. Oh. Alright. Jiggles is very good. I feel like we gotta figure out some kind of deck name for Minthara that involves around, like, jiggling. Alrighty. Onwards and upwards. I gotta say, that game, the Slads looked really good. That's a good first showing for the Slads. Explain expressive iteration. Okay, so is this keepable? Yeah, probably. Okay, so expressive iteration. Expressive iteration is a card that has, I think, some of the simplest text that's the most easy to misconstrue how it is affected by the surroundings of the format that it is in. In older formats, where there are low mana costs, expressive iteration is very, very good, specifically because of the way that it allows you to so easily draw 2 cards for 2 mana with no opportunity cost. But that is a factor of those formats play a lot of stuff that costs 1 mana, so on turn 3 you can play expressive iteration and play your 1-drop that you're likely to hit, or your land drop that you're likely to hit. In formats like Standard, it is more often correct to not play expressive iteration, and expressive iteration is often weaker because the average cost of spells in your deck is higher, but more importantly because the number of 1-drops in your deck that you can play on turn 3 at the same time as expressive iteration off of your 2 mana is so much lower. Which is all to say, it's a weird card that gets weaker the weaker the format that it is in. I don't want to attack into this Nefarious Imp and trade, so I think we're just going to blink our Priest and be happy with our value. Got rid of the QQ point redemption. Did I? Oh, did I turn it off? I think I just turned it off. And then forgot to turn it back on. No, it should be there, right? It should be there. I think it's there. There we go. What, my priest died? Okay, so they They are on 4-color improvised weaponry, my priest. Instead of the Icewind Stalwart, I guess, for some reason. That's curious, but okay. Oh, this is very fun. I actually get to discard this swamp to get my priest back, is that right? Because they were kind enough to kill my priest? I'm pretty sure that's how this works. Oh wait, could I specialize that from hand? I don't think you can specialize from hand, can you? I don't believe so. Return up to 2 target creature cards with total mana value of 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Oh, but they can kill it in response, and then I have to flicker it? And then I guess the specialized fizzles, which is kind of a bummer. But they don't, so it doesn't. Sweet. We're going absolutely ham on the Priest of Ancient Lores. Is Iteration unique, or is it just a somewhat extreme example of cantrips scaling in power with format level? I don't even necessarily think that cheap cantrips scale in power with format power level. I think there is a very unique effect to how expressive iteration and impulse draws scale with format power level. No, come back, opponent. I was going to make 6 zombie tokens. It was going to be cool. I am really excited to get to toy around with this set in Alchemy. I very much want to play with the conjure copies of every permanent play into hand thing. I think that there's a chance that it might have a pretty big impact on Historic. I know at least one combo deck with Teferi and the new Bouncy Cat has been seeing play there. But I don't know whether it's going to be... what effect it will have beyond that. But also, Patriarch's Humiliation is a really interesting card that I wouldn't be surprised to have see play in other formats. Oh no, no matter what I do, I'm going to reveal that I have a 1-drop if my opponent plays a creature. Novice Acolyte. Creature cards in your hand perpetually... Oh. Alright, that's a little silly, isn't it? I don't like that design at all. It makes me feel like I'm hugely behind immediately. Dear me. If it's white, their next creature gains lifelink. Yeah, that's a big Pilgrim's Eye. Oh my. Kitten blinks any non-land... is it any non-land permanent or any non-creature permanent? No, I think it's non-land. Oh, are we going with Slod? I think we're going with Slod. A little disappointing to not get to mill cards, but I want to play on curve. Goodness gracious. So much stats for 2 mana. Ugh. So completely disgusting. Oh dear. At least my Slod trades with the Stalwart. That's something, I guess. Oh dear. I really do not want to play this Minthara without giving myself the ability to protect it. If possible. think what I want to do is block the Stalwart and then Armor of Shadows. When Hook Horror dies, it perpetually gets -1/-1. Then if that card's toughness is 1 or greater, return to the battlefield under its owner's control. Ew. Okay, so that just keeps coming back, huh? I guess I could Patriarch's Humiliation it to make it more killable. No, I don't want to do that now. Priest of Ancient Lore, huh? Okay, so I could play Minthara and then just swing with the Slad and see what happens. Alternatively, I could play Priest and kill the Hook Horror and then attack for 6. Actually, you know what? That sounds probably like a better idea. Alright. Let's permanently kill the Hook Horror, because it loses the ability to come back and then takes 3 damage. Oh, and apparently I can play a land drop? Apparently I can play a land drop. Good enough for me. My opponent still has, like, an absolute boatload of cards, which is a little concerning. 3/2 Death Toucher that, as long as it wasn't blocking when it dies, it draws a card, which makes me sad. Alright, well, let's suit up our Minthara and swing with everybody, I guess. I could choose not to swing with the Slad. I should probably swing with the Slad. I'm assuming they block the Slad and the Sepulchre Ghoul. Yeah. Yes, they do. Very well. So we do 2 damage. We Anthem our team. We get a little bit of a jiggle. I don't like my opponent having so many cards, but maybe they're flooding a little bit. Ancient Brass Dragon. Oh my gosh, that's horrifying. I'm very glad that I get to kill it. I don't know what this does. I should probably figure that out. Roll a d20. Put any number of target creature cards with total mana value X or less from graveyards onto the battlefield under your control, where X is the result. Oh my. That's deeply horrifying. Ooh. I should have thought about what happened if I drew a land drop. Because I would have had Oh wait, no, does this only activate once a turn? No. Okay, so if I played my land drop, I would have had lethal. But thankfully, it looks like I'm not punished for that. Yay! Huzzah for removal, stopping me from dying in 1 turn to bombs. Woo! Good times. Okay, well, Deadly Dispute plus Pilgrim's Eye is probably a combo. I was gonna say that we can mill 4 cards with Slad on turn 2 if we have nothing better to do, but now we have something better to do. No! Rare's on turn 2 again. Scary. 2 mana 2/2 with First Strike. Specialize 6. You may also activate it from the graveyard. When this card specializes from your graveyard, return it to the graveyard of the battlefield. It gains this can't block. When it specializes in any zone, target creature and opponent controls can't block this turn. It's a white. All of them have haste. The white version also makes a 2/2 white knight and also gives other creatures +1/+1 in haste. Okay, that's pretty disgusting. Are they different sizes? No, they are all 4/4s, other than, I guess, the white one is technically a 5/5 the turn it comes into play. The blue one just seeks an instant or sorcery, and then casts it without paying its mana cost. The black one draws 2 cards, and each opponent loses 2 life if they sacrifice a creature. Huh. And the green one just gives an additional +4/+4. Cool. That's horrifying. Oh, cool! Ambergris, the best uncommon. And they're just chilling with the 2/2 hung back. Cool, 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 cool. Deeply exciting. Now, I could attack with this Soldier of the Watch, and I actually am going to, because I just remembered it has double team, so I'm going to get another Soldier of the Watch I can play. So when my opponent blocks with this first striker, I just get to give my Soldier of the Watch indestructible and, like, kill the first striker. And that's probably pretty good for 1 mana. And then we play this thing that can block the Ambergris. I mean, up until they make the Ambergris bigger by discarding cards. Which, you know, is only a tiny bit horrifying. I'm sure it'll be fine. Alright. They choose not to do it for a turn. I'm okay with that. This thing's a 4/3. That makes me sad. What do we do about that? I could attack with both Soldiers of the Watch to trigger Grim Hireling. I lose one of them. Probably make 2 treasures with the other one, which is kind of cool, I guess. I think I'm probably just supposed to play the Pilgrim of the Eye. Disappointing though that may be. Tiny creatures, tiny creatures. What are we going to do with you? I guess the Pilgrim's Eye actually gets in for the Grim Hireling pretty easily. Unless they give a creature flying, I guess. That would kind of be a bummer. Well, you're going to discard your hand to draw 2 cards, opponent? That would make me sad. Honestly, both options would make me sad. Icewind Stalwart. Okay, that's pretty reasonable. Let's swing with our Pilgrim's Eye. Make some treasure. Play more Pilgrim's Eyes. Go get more lands. Oh, dear me. I guess I could have killed the Ambergris. Maybe that actually was, like, much better than playing a Pilgrim's Eye. I mean, if we think about it in those terms. I mean, just a little bit. What do we want to do here? I guess the answer is probably not race, although the fact that they can discard to Ambergris and then attack into the double Pilgrim's Eyes kind of sucks, and is probably meaning that I'm not supposed to dirtle around. So I think I'm attacking with everything and then sacking the one they block to Deadly Dispute. Archivist Fogma is pretty worthless, unfortunately. But I guess we're just going to go all in on thinning the deck and trying to draw into useful things. Yeah, I think not killing the Ambergris and playing the Pilgrim's Eye instead was a pretty huge oversight. I'm not really sure how we're getting out of this one. What did they just do? Oh, the game's lagging. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty horrifying. I'm not really sure how I can ever possibly win this. Maybe, I can let my opponent attack me for 7 damage, put me to 2, and then maybe somehow they don't have blockers. If the opponent has literal 0 blockers in the top 5 cards of their deck, then we're golden. Alternatively, if they give the flying to the Karlach, then we're also in fine shape, because I can just trade the Archivist with the Ambergris. Well, now unfortunately I kind of have to block. Which is a bummer, because I actually needed that 1 additional damage to have lethal. Oh, I could not play the Archivist, and then if we top deck our creature that is an Anthem? Regrettably. No. Oh, no. We do actually still have one thing we can top deck. There's the 5-drop that gives our team +1/+1. I think there's also a 2-drop that gives a team +1/+1. Both of those are currently lethal. That's not good enough. Dang. Yeah. I feel like this was a winnable game if I hadn't messed up pretty horrifically. A world where they don't have that Ambergris drawing them an additional, 6 cards probably would have been good. But the fact that we still had 2 or 3 lethal top decks there, well, presuming the opponent didn't have interaction, I guess that's, at least somewhat mollifying. Yeah, Ambergris is probably the best uncommon in my opinion, by a pretty wide margin. I think we can keep this on the draw. It'll be better if we draw a white source and can actually get the Steadfast Unicorn down to, I don't know, block early. We're going to go with that, but 2 lands plus Pilgrim's Eye I think has to be a keep. You're so cute looking, kitty. Oh, yeah, you are. Too irresistible looking that cute that close. We shall keep. Well, it's not a white source, but it does give us our 3rd land guaranteed, so we won't complain too much about the swamp. No, I don't want to get Soldiers of the Watched. See, if we'd hit our white source, we could have already Patriarch's Humiliation to that. I guess the good news is they didn't have anything better to do on turn 3 than play a 2-drop. We are still pretty tightly constrained on white sources, though. That's going to be limiting. Should I trade off the Pilgrim's Eye? Probably not worth trying to keep it around to get synergy with the Minthara. So I could play Slod plus Patriarch's Humiliation, the Soldiers of the Watch. Is that better than just developing the Minthara? Probably. Oh, I could also just play the Steadfast Unicorn, which is probably better than playing the Patriarch's Humiliation. Kitten triggering Revolt for Esper I don't think is likely to be very useful, because you only really care about the Revolt on Fatal Push on, like, turn 3 and 4, not really at the point where you've already developed a Kitten into play. I mean, it is nice to have, but... Thoughtseize is interesting, though. Alright, well, if you're not going to attack with the Cell Sword, I don't really care about trading off with the 2-1 aggressively enough to, like, actually make this trade when I've got a Minthara anyway. Okay, land drops Stellar. That lets us hold up Patriarch's Humiliation. Now our Minthara kind of just gets to chill around. Am I sitting here in Dirtling? I guess that I'm sitting here in Dirtling? I guess that's my life now? If we can get to the point where we put a Wand of Orcus on the Grey slot and get to make 4 zombies, I'd be pretty excited. That's disappointing. Alright. I got a treasure. Should I have Patriarch's Humiliation the Jaded Cell Sword before that had a chance to work? Yes. Do I regret my choices? Maybe, maybe not. Alright. Well, we're taking 7 here. That's going to be a problem. I suppose in a sense I got rewarded for not casting Patriarch's Humiliation. Wherein, in the sense, would have been that their Patriarch's Humiliation would have blown me out. Do I want to sack that one first? I guess I do, actually. Sacking that one first puts more creatures in the graveyard for a possible top decks slad. Ugh. Well, that's pretty awful. My lack of cards that do anything is also pretty awful. You give Death Touch. Yeah, but I'm dead. So I, like, kind of have to Deadly Dispute sacking the treasure. Try to find more blockers. Okay. It's only mostly bad? Well, okay, hold on. This might kind of work. Like, I can trick them into blocking with the Devoted Paladin? No, I can't trick them into blocking with the Devoted Paladin. Alright, this might actually work even better then? I'm gonna pretend this works even better then. Okay, because now I can, like, play the Archivist after they attack, and then Patriarch's Humiliation the Stalwart, and then double block the Paladin. So, like... I only get blown out by my opponent having, like, literally anything at all. So that could be worse. Yeah, I mean, like, that does count as literally anything at all, unfortunately. Yeah, my inability to do anything until turn 3 on the draw. Kinda lost that one, I think. Once again, with the deep concerns about not having a color of mana and being on the draw without anything to deal until turn 3. So we're just going to hope we draw a white source so that we can play You Hear Something on the Watch as our 2-drop. No such success. We do get to mill ourselves a bunch. We had 2 creatures. Alright, that could be worse. Well, we have kind of failed to draw any lands. That's not great. Meanwhile, opponent's kind of curving out upon us a little hard, which is also not great. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Sometimes on the draw, you fail to draw lands. I guess we're blocking the Drider and then sacking the Slad to Deadly Dispute. Aha! Opponent, you thought I was going to actually trade with that Drider. Little did you know, that was not on the... market at all. I still haven't drawn lands? And I kind of need to kill this unicorn with You Hear Something on the Watch. So, like, this sucks a lot. Like, kind of an indescribable amount of suck. Okay. That's something, deck. That's something. Is it enough something to be meaningful? I don't know, but it is something. So we can flash in the Archivist, and then block the Drider, and then Armor of Shadows it. And hope they don't have a response. Okay. And then hit a white source, apparently. Okay. So then we get to play our Minthara and hold up Patriarch's Humiliation to kill the Slad. So you're telling me there's a chance. Unfortunately, now we might have to kill the Manticore, because my life total is at 6 and flyers are scary. My life total is still at 6 and flyers are still scary. Okay, yeah. Still. Oh, no. That was a horrible mistake. I gave the Slad Menace. Had to kill the Slad. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe this was fine. Maybe this was fine. Not good, but fine. No, not fine. I'm still losing. On the spot. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I might not have had any outs to that at all. I definitely had to go for the Slad. I think. But I was still going to lose, regardless. The mana efficiency of the interactive spells that we did have did a huge amount of work there, but can't really overcome not really getting to start playing the game until turn 5. Going for the Slad gives us one more turn, yes, but I don't really have removal spells in my deck that even beat the 2/1 flyer that I can't block. Like, the Slide is still rough, but if I top deck a creature, I'm, like, potentially okay. I don't even think that I'm supposed to go for the Slad there. I think that trying to top deck creatures that I can play is a better source of outs, but mostly that position kind of sucked a lot.